Gemini, so this is going to be your astrology reading for the month of February. And the way that I've structured this video is kind of talking a little bit about how we're starting the month and as the energy flows through the month, because what I noticed is that we really have kind of one sign that's dominant the entire month, and where that impacts you will depend on whether or not you're listening to your sun sign, your rising sign, or your moon sign. And so your sun sign is how you express yourself. Your rising sign is probably going to be the most accurate of the three, and the rising sign is your ascendant. So if you were to pull your birth chart, it would be that first house, that ascendant. Sometimes it's called rising, whatever it is that you want to call it, it is that first house. It's how other people see you. And so then the moon sign is how you interpret everything through that emotional lens. So it's that just emotional processing of information. And so kind of jumping into where you are for the month of February. We're in Aquarius season, so there's a lot of Aquarius energy. And so we had the sun and Pluto both move into Aquarius on January 20th, so in the Eastern time zone where I'm located. And so what happens is they're already there. And early in the month, and so on February 5th, we have Mercury is now going to enter Aquarius. So we'll have Mercury, Pluto, and the sun all in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about liberation. Pluto is about transformation. The sun, again, it's how you express yourself. And Mercury is more expression, it's communication, it's processing information. It's actually the ruler of your sign. And so where this is going to impact you is all in your ninth house. So ninth house themes would be higher education, long distance travel, any kind of religion or philosophical beliefs that you have. And so these would be philosophically, oh my gosh, if I can speak, philosophically speaking, it would be just the foundation of who you are. So like your belief system, not these academic philosophers. It's what you believe, it's how you perceive things. And so that is highlighted for the entire month, mostly, with some limited exceptions towards the end of the month that I'll talk about. And so when Mercury enters into Aquarius, this is going to be something suddenly happening here where you might start to understand these things need to be different. So like thinking of your internal philosophy, just the way you view the world. Is something changing here? Is your opinion on something changing here? Because it would happen suddenly. It's like all of a sudden you're awake. Something happens here and it's like, wow, okay, I always thought this and that's not correct. I need to be thinking over here because that's actually correct. And so this is the type of energy that is going to be happening during this Mercury entering Aquarius on February 5th. Mercury is also going to be conjunct Mars. So the interesting connection here is that Mercury is in Aquarius, but it's in a close enough connection with Mars, but Mars is in Capricorn. And so now we're looking at a connection between this ninth house of higher education, philosophy, religion, long distance travel, and eighth house energies, which is transformation. This is maybe intimacy. This would be other people's money. There's a lot of eighth house kind of energy. And so kind of looking at them together, Capricorn is also about creating some sort of long-term strategy. And so this could be an opportunity where you're all of a sudden getting these innovative ideas because that's Mercury in Aquarius. And so how do you implement those as far as maybe increasing your salary, or could it be something else in the area of maybe transformation or something that you're trying to do long-term? And so this would be, okay, things are coming to light. Now I need to kind of figure out what do I want to do, go forward in that way. What transformation is taking place? What actions related to that transformation, Mars and Capricorn, are you going to implement in order to go after this? Mercury is also going to be square Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. And so we've got your ninth house energy. So we've got all of that higher education, expansion, these growth opportunities, square Jupiter and Taurus. So this is actually going to impact your 12th house. This is the house of the subconscious. So when it comes to, okay, I'm learning different things, that subconscious tells me this is probably more related to your inner belief system and what modifications are happening within your belief system. Because it kind of, in a way, feels like your foundation is being rocked a little bit, that because you always believed something and now you're starting to see things differently. Jupiter in Taurus, so Jupiter is it's the most benefic planet out there. And so whatever it touches turns to gold, essentially. And so this is a really positive transformation that's going to be happening here within you. Jupiter is really blessing this whole Mercury entering Aquarius and everything that it's teaching you. Mercury is also going to be sextile Neptune in Pisces. I don't know why all of a sudden I can't speak. So Neptune in Pisces is about your goals, your dreams. What is it that you truly want to go after in life? That's sitting in your 10th house. And so all of this is going to relate to each other. So think of transformation, maybe other people's money. When we had that 8th house energy with Mars and Capricorn, we have the transformation that's taking place with Pluto and Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. You might be getting these innovative ideas. And now layer into it that you have an opportunity here to apply this into your career or public reputation. And so there is this opportunity. It does require you to action on it, but there is this opportunity available for you to be able to improve your standing or do something, increase your income, something along those lines. That's what Mercury entering Aquarius is going to do for you. Then we have the new moon in Aquarius. So that's going to happen on February 9th. It's going to happen at 5:59 Eastern time. I'm sorry, I didn't give the time for Mercury entering Aquarius. So that was on the 5th at 12:10 in the morning. And so if you're in the Pacific time zone, because I'm Eastern, it would be the night before. But anyway, so going back to new moon in Aquarius. And so now we have the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Pluto all in the sign of Aquarius, all impacting that 9th house energy. So higher education, again, your philosophy, religion, expansion, all of these things within the 9th house. Because it's a new moon, the moon and the sun are at the same degree point. They're on top of each other. And this is about, again, because the sun is how you express yourself, the moon is how you process information. And so this is about expressing your emotions, finding that way to express exactly what it is that you're feeling as it relates to all of this kind of growth, all this liberation that's taking place here. Because there is something connected to this Pluto in Aquarius and all this transformation that's happening, all this liberation, this breaking down of structures that just doesn't work for you anymore. And so this new moon in Aquarius is going to be your ability to really speak out and talk about how this is impacting you. The sun and moon are both going to be in a square to Uranus and Taurus. And so we have the sun and the moon expressing yourself, your emotions. Now, Uranus and Taurus is back to talking about your subconscious, because this is that Taurus energy is sitting in your 12th house. Uranus is sudden change. And so this would be that sudden change within you. This would be Pluto and Aquarius outside of you. Uranus and Taurus for you would be internal. And so these would be those sudden changes. And it really is realigning your values. It's also giving you this opportunity to really speak about what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling, and whatever is really coming to light for you during this time. Any obstacles and challenges that you feel connected to this can be overcome. If there is any kind of internal resistance to this change that's taking place, you will be able to overcome it. It does require you to actually do something about it, but it's not impossible. The sun and moon are also going to be trine the south node in Libra. And so that's a lot of information. So we've still got you trying to express, or you finding a way to express your emotions and your authentic self. And then we also have the south node in Libra. So the south node is an eclipse point. We're in the Aries Libra eclipse season. And so the south node is sitting in Libra. That's impacting your 5th house. Your 5th house is creativity, it's passion. This is actually a really positive transit for you, because the south node in Libra is all about finding that balance. But this is something that you probably feel organically. That Libra energy sitting in your 5th house is anything that you've done from a creative standpoint. All of that feels very balanced. You feel very good about that. Might even be related to children or short-term relationships, but whatever it is that you're trying to do, there is this kind of natural ability to be balanced in this area. I am picking up more and think of it more as like expressing yourself creatively, finding that way to really articulate and communicate what it is that you're thinking and feeling. We also have the sun and moon will be sextile Chiron in Aries. And so again, Aries, Libra, the nodes are happening here. So the north node's actually in the 11th house with Chiron in Aries. And so now we have about you expressing yourself. Chiron in Aries is really the placement here to take note of. So Chiron is the wounded healer. It's sitting in Aries. It's your 11th house. This is your house of community. And so what kind of healing relationships, healing communication related to some of these relationships is going to take place, or do you want to take place? Because this is an energy of sextile, so you are going to need to take some action here if you do want to kind of mend some relationships with people. And maybe it's because you've always thought something about somebody, and you always thought they were behaving in a certain way, and you kind of kept them at arm's length because of it, or you maybe just separated yourself from that person because you didn't think that you were on the same page, or you came about things the same way. And now you're starting to see things differently. You're starting to see that, oh no, this person did come in with true intentions. Let's have the conversation. Let's heal and mend this relationship. And so this is what this energy is bringing up here. We also have Mars entering Aquarius. So this is going to happen on February 13th at just after midnight again. So it's 1:05 in the morning, so Pacific time, night before. And so at this point, we'll have the Mars, Sun, and Pluto in Aquarius. The moon has moved on. And so what's going to happen here is Mars is going to be conjunct Venus. Venus is not yet in Aquarius. Venus is still sitting in Capricorn. And so we have Mars sitting in Aquarius. So Mars, action, Aquarius, liberation. So liberating actions. Then we also have Venus sitting in Capricorn. And so this is really, what do you value from a long-term perspective? What goals do you have in place? And so the really interesting energy here is that Mars is really good at separating things, and Venus brings things together. And so they're conjunct, which means the energy is really kind of trying to balance here, trying to find a way for you to break free from any restrictions that prevent you from going after exactly what you want. That Venus and Capricorn energy does still have her eye on the prize. And what do I need to do to go after it? And then Mars in Aquarius, what actions do I need to take? What needs to be broken free? What barriers need to come down in order for you to be able to achieve that goal? Mars is also going to be square Jupiter in the sign of Taurus. And so again, Jupiter and Taurus is going to come up a couple times throughout the month. And so Mars being in a square to Jupiter and Taurus, the actions that you're taking would normally have some sort of obstacle or challenge connected to it, but Jupiter in Taurus indicates that you're not going to have any issues here. So when it comes to that internal, because it's sitting in your 12th house, so when it comes to those internal process changes that you're trying to make, you are going to be able to do it. It is going to be successful. You are going to come out on the other side just the better for it. Mars is going to be sextile Neptune and Pisces. And so now, again, we've got your 9th house energies, constant theme, and we've got Neptune and Pisces sitting in your 10th house. And so with Mars sextile Neptune, Mars is what actions, what changing, transformational type of actions are you taking, liberating type of actions are you taking to kind of align with your career goals? What actions, like how does that affect you? Because that's the connection here. They're in a sextile, so you are going to have to take some sort of action in order to better your career. So if you're in this process of like mending relationships with people and you're doing all of these things to really better yourself, you're changing your thought process, the way that you value things or what you always believe to be true, you're going to have to find a way to bring that into your career or public reputation. It's not something that everybody's just automatically going to know. It's going to be something that you have to do. This is where the action's going to be required. And then again, we have Mars conjunct Pluto in Aquarius at 0 degrees. And so this is really just that sudden transformational changes that are taking place pretty much for the month of February. So that was Mars entering Aquarius. Now we have Venus entering Aquarius on the 16th. And so that's going to happen at 8:05 in the morning Eastern time. And so we'll have Pluto, Mars, Venus, the Sun, and Mercury all in the sign of Aquarius. That is a lot of energy sitting in one house, in one sign, and the liberating sign at that. And Aquarius is the rebel of the zodiac. So you might see a lot of things happening at this point in time. We will have Venus semi-sextile the Sun. They're both still sitting in the 9th house, so they're still impacting maybe your internal philosophy, your higher education, all of these different things, long distance travel that are part of the 9th house. But they're really, the Sun is getting ready to move on into Pisces, and so it's at the end of the house versus the Venus that's just entering the house. Something really just caught my eye. Okay, we're going to keep going. So there might be some friction around what it is that you value and the way that you're expressing yourself. And so there might be, it's a very minor type of energy. This is not a major transit at all. So don't hold on to that real closely, but just know that there could be some friction there. You will have Venus trine the moon in Taurus. And so the ninth house, Venus energy. So really what you value is changing, or maybe that your approach to what you value is changing. Moon in Taurus. So the moon is sitting in your 12th house right now. So that would be the subconscious. And so Venus is actually the ruler of Taurus. So there's a lot of synergy happening here. So if you've ever felt like you couldn't have something, this is going to break you free from that type of energy. If you ever felt like your goals and what you value and everything that you want is just out of arm's reach, that's changing. That's what this energy indicates. Now Venus will be conjunct Mars again, but now we're going to be here in the same house instead of in different houses. And so you are going to have to take action in order to get what you want. This is not something where you're going to be a passive observer in your life. You are going to have to be an active participant. So really be mindful of what it is that you're doing and the goals that you've set for yourself, and really going after what you value. Because at the same time, Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto. So if there is something here that doesn't align with your value system or what you're moving towards, what your goals are, it's going to be removed from your life. And it's going to happen in a very sudden way. That's what the Pluto in Aquarius is going to do for us. It's going to remove all of these obstacles and challenges, all these barriers that may be in place through some sort of structure, some sort of limitation that was existing that you may not even realize was there. This is going to liberate you from that. Venus is going to be in a square to Jupiter and Taurus. So again, a lot of success around modifying the way that you think about things, the growth opportunities presented to you, because you are growing during this entire time. The fact that your internal view of the world is changing and your role within the world, this, what you value, what you think is right, all of this changing is meant to grow you. And that's exactly where that Jupiter and Taurus energy is sitting. Venus is also going to be in a sextile to Neptune and Pisces. And so again, we've got a lot of connection between your house of career and maybe these changes that are taking place, all this liberation, this modification that's occurring in your life when it comes to what you want, what you value, the actions that you're taking, just that whole process change. You are going to be required again to take some action here, because it's not going to be something that is going to be automatically known to the people around you. You would have to go out and kind of speak your mind or present yourself, inform other people. So just make sure you seize that opportunity, because you have a few opportunities of that occurring this month. And so really seize on that opportunity. The sun then enters Pisces on the 18th, and that's at 11:13 at night Eastern time. And so at this point, we talked a lot about Aquarius energy. Now we're starting to move into Pisces energy. So we have the sun, Saturn, and Neptune are all in Pisces. So this is going to impact your 10th house of career. And so right away, the sun is going to be trine the moon. The moon is going to be in the sign of Cancer. And so we've got your 10th house, it's your career and public reputation. And then we have the moon in Cancer, which is sitting in your second house. This is your personal finances. This is the things that you value. And so this is a positive energy. So if you were looking to do something with your career, pursue something of value or increase your value in your career, this is the opportunity to do it. There might be an impact here to your finances as well, because that moon in Cancer, the moon's at home in the sign of Cancer, but it's a very nurturing energy. And so it's really more about you kind of gaining that value in your career, maybe public reputation. So these would be the improvements that you're trying to make. There is a lot of positivity connected to this. The sun will also be conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. And so now again, we're looking at that 9th house, 10th house connection. So this would be any kind of liberating changes that are taking place, maybe with your philosophy, or maybe something connected to higher education, something along those lines, where it's that 9th house energy as it relates to your career. And so the sun conjunct Mercury, the sun is going to highlight exactly what it is that you want. How do you want to express yourself? Mercury in Aquarius could be then presenting those innovative ideas. This could be part of how you bolster your career. You're all of a sudden going to come to the table with these new innovative ideas, or this different way of thinking, because Aquarius is out of the box thinking. And that's exactly what you're doing at this point. And we'll see very similar energy with the sun semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. So again, these two houses are talking to each other. The planets are talking to each other. So the sun is in a little bit of a friction energy against this Pluto in Aquarius. And so just be mindful of what it is that you're truly going after, to make sure that you're really removing those things that correlate, that you aren't holding on to something that doesn't belong there. This Pluto in Aquarius is, I mean, this is not going to be a fast moving energy by any means. It's going to take us a while to break down some of these structures that have been creating these limitations that we didn't even know existed. And so really just kind of be mindful of that you may have wanted something in the past that is no longer feasible or just doesn't align with what you want going forward. And so really make sure that what you're removing from your life aligns with the direction that you want to go. And then on the 23rd, we have Mercury entering Pisces. And so this is at 2:39 in the morning in Eastern time. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, it's going to be the night before. So it'll be just before midnight. And so we'll have the Mercury, Sun, Saturn, and Neptune all in the sign of Pisces, all sitting in your career and public reputation house. And so Mercury will be conjunct the Sun. And so this will be about expressing your dreams. This Mercury is communication, it's processing of information. It's really about that dream state. So I love to see this energy because that Pisces is about, what are your dreams? Like pie in the sky, fantasy type, what are your dreams? And now this is you communicating this energy. We'll also have Mercury opposite the moon in Leo. And so we've got your 10th house now opposite moon in Leo, which is sitting in your 3rd house. And so this is also a house of communication. And so moon in Leo is about a creative expression, and it's literally sitting in your house of communication opposite the planet of communication. So there's so much happening here. This energy doesn't feel like it's going to be like a normal opposition energy, which is more of a push-pull. This feels a lot like it might be a little bit easier than other placements as far as being able to communicate exactly what it is that you want, finding that ability to really speak what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling. We'll also have Mercury conjunct Saturn. So they'll both be sitting in your career and public sector. And so Mercury conjunct Saturn, this is about communication. Saturn is about structure. It's long-term planning. It is the goals that you've set for yourself and how do you achieve those goals. And so there's a lot of modification happening to you, which is giving you an opportunity to revisit the goals that you've set for yourself, the game plan that you might have created for yourself. So what is that path to success and how is that modifying over time? Because you are being given an opportunity to communicate exactly what it is that you're moving towards. Mercury will also be semi-sextile Pluto in Aquarius. And so we have Mercury in the 10th house, Pluto in Aquarius in the 9th house. So they're in different houses again. Really, it's just being mindful of all the changes that are taking place here, making sure that the changes, the liberation, the out-of-the-box thinking, like all of this Pluto and Aquarius energy aligns with what you want going forward. If there's anything that needs to be modified, you have the ability to do it. This, again, it's not, whenever I see the semi-sextile, it's not a strong aspect. So this isn't something that's going to be one of those major, oh my God, this just happened to me moments. It's not going to be like that at all. And then at the end of the month, we'll have the full moon in Virgo. So that's on the 24th. That's at 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. And so for you, Virgo is sitting in your 4th house of home. And because the sun is in Pisces, so moon is in Virgo, sun is in Pisces, they're directly opposite each other. Pisces is sitting in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So now we're looking at this kind of push-pull energy of your career and public reputation and your home life. Virgo in your home life is about paying attention to details, really internalizing and thinking, maybe even to a perfectionist state of mind, what it is, nitpicking is coming to mind, what it is that you want from a home life versus how do you want to be in your career life and how do you want to be in that public life, because they are opposites here. And so it's really about finding some sort of balance between the two. Are you very different at home than you are at work or in this public reputation standpoint? Is there something here that you need to let go of? What's not working for you? Maybe it's the way that you talk to yourself. Maybe it's the way that you are at home that undermines your confidence in your career. There's something here that you do need to release. It is a full moon, so this would be the releasing of an energy. We'll also have the moon opposite Mercury in Pisces. And so again, we're looking at 4th house, 10th house energies. And so a lot of maybe communication around what you need to release as it pertains to your dreams. And so there's something about your home life that needs to change as it relates to your career. It could be the other way around, but it feels more like you're doing so much to create these long-term goals for your career. And now you're being given an opportunity to align your home life with your career life, so that you kind of have this balanced energy moving forward. And so kind of supporting that would be the moon is trine Jupiter in Taurus. And so this Jupiter in Taurus energy, again, going back into your subconscious, these are internal changes that you're making to yourself that's giving you this opportunity to really change not just how you see yourself in a public sphere, but how you see yourself privately and how you are at home. And so it's giving you this opportunity to really create this balance. The moon will also be opposite Saturn in Pisces. And so again, Saturn in Pisces, what kind of goals have you set for yourself in order to go after your dreams? And then your fourth house is, where are they out of alignment? What here needs to change in order for you to go after what you want? So Gemini, this is your reading for the month of February. I hope this resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.